reshare, whatever. Yeah.
All right. So welcome people to Military Guna TV. As you know, my co-host, I'm also his co-host on his show, JD IMAX Football. Thank you very much for being here, IMAX. And today we have so much thing to talk about. A lot of people in the chat already. Big up Delano, big up Marcus, Messiah Garvey. But as you know, thank you for coming on to the show again. A lot of respect to you, bro. How are you? How are you doing? How's the family?
I'm doing great, man, and everyone is actually doing great as well. Just put the kid to bed and say I got to represent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is nice. So we have in basically the football world has literally stopped and started to pretend as if this money issue is the first year they have seen it, and it's taken out of scale right now. Everyone is talking about it everywhere in the world right now. Everybody's speaking about the finances and what is happening. How money is actually taking over football. Now,
Mm-hmm.
as today we want to dissect how this aspect of the Super League may affect the CONCACAF. I will go further into that. But for now, what is your take? Because I know your club in specific is a big sponsor of this of this move, Manchester City, because we know you guys splash the cash wherever you can. So what's your take on
Um,
it?
but really and truly, for the English club, Manchester City weren't the first. It was Liverpool and Manchester United, and because City don't want to play in a weakened league because it's already a weakened league because they have been dominating it for a
Mhm.
few years now. So that's their excuse. But I'm not going to give them a pass. City
Yeah.
just became a big club, so you should not partake in or indulge in things like this, which is Liverpool and Manchester United. They can get their fans back because of their longevity and their history. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if City will gain those fans back. You know why? Because they have already changed the location from the stadium and lost a lot of their core fans, and
Mhm.
then now they're going to partake in this. And the chairman came up with a statement which is highly disrespectful. Like
Yeah.
it's just all about money and no one else matters. You know, once you do
Oh.
that, you can't go back to square root. So I think City might just be finished, and I might just have to go back and talk about Ajax and just leave City alone because I'm not going to support anything like that straightforward, you know. So
Yeah.
I won't be covering the Premier League.
And I share the same sentiments. It's going to be difficult for me to be covering the Premier League, especially the fact that we're still unsure if these teams will remain in the Premier League as well, because you know that FIFA, UEFA is actually fighting very, very hard against it. So, what's your insight on this? You think it's a sense in which it's just a power pull because of finances, or definitely this Super League is just a monetary gain and trying to derail the good aspect of football?
I've heard even my friend Tactical stated that it's much more of a power pull between UEFA and these guys. They just have it in for the Champions League and those places. But where I can see to differ is look, if it was just like that, you could have just target the UEFA side. But look, what they want is assurance that they can get a certain money. Some of these clubs that are entering this problematic situation, they are not sure to make the Champions League.
Hmm.
So that means the money is not sure. So with tactical saying that, it's not 100% accurate because these guys are looking for surety. They want to make sure they can always be there. So if you look into what they have to offer, it's completely different from what was there before. So
Hmm.
these guys want assurance to make sure they are always in the Champions League. If
Yeah,
UEFA could have guaranteed them that, that would have made sense to them. That's what they are
yeah.
trying to say. That's the only manipulation you could say. Otherwise, some that is just pure money. The American owners are just dinosaurs that wants things their way, and they don't know anything about core and respect. That's
Hmm.
what I would say.
Yeah, and I agree with everything that you said. Another thing that I was looking at too, I was like sitting, I was like, um, if you should look at the Champions League, right? The
Hmm.
every team, whenever your team is playing a particular team in the Champions League, more likely your team is going to receive coverage a bigger, vaster coverage because of the Champions League, the aura of the
Mm-hmm.
Champions League as well. So they're going to look at it and say, okay, so all right, we're going to get more money off this. So is it a case in which they want to move themselves away to this lucrative league so that all views and coverages on that league, so that is more money for them in particular? Because one of my problems about this is that the persons that are making this move, the chairmans, the vice president, all these guys that are making these stipulated moves are not football heads, because they are, most of the clubs that they are running, they have never dealt with the manager face to face. In most of the time, they have only contacted over phone and such forth, but not on a match that you see them in the stands, not so often, even in training session, pass by 1 and 2 training session,
But
you will not have that.
what when I was actually reading the article, what they actually stated is that's why people thought it's just about the UEFA, because they stated that they wanted to remain in the Premier League, like the 6 clubs wanted to remain in the Premier League, but have the Super League just as the replacement for the UEFA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what they're trying to say. But that only shows you that they want assurance to make more money. They want to make sure they can bring in a set amount of money, which is we have to play in a Champions League, but this Champions League won't have any relegation. We can know that these are the teams that will be in it, and that's it. We're going to collect this money. The best players will play on the best stage. But what I know will happen after this is the fact that UEFA is connected to FIFA, and FIFA is connected to the FA. UEFA already said they are going to kick out those clubs, so expect all of these clubs to be out by Friday. Then FIFA will ban them from participating in every competition. So don't expect, if that's the case, you're not going to see Kevin De Bruyne playing in the World Cup then.
And that is where the
And
football will get a massive hit.
and
So,
then the FA, the FA will have to put them out, like put them out of the club, out of the competition, because even clubs coming out and say they don't want them, don't want to play with them. So once the rest of the clubs in the Premier League said something like that, all of these guys will go out. So that's the whole situation. I'm just trying to give you.
And do you think that if all the top 6 teams and the high rank teams in these particular leagues should come out of the specific league and join in the UEFA, the Super League, no, wouldn't that demoralize or demonetize the amount of money that would be influxed into those particular leagues? Because all the big money spenders will be leaving and going to one particular area. The teams that get the most viewership are moving from the Premier League or from those particular leagues, moving into this superior league. Isn't that a case in which all the money there'd be a big money shift, and is that is the whole momentum of what they're trying to do?
I don't think they're trying to take the money from the leagues, because really and truly the leagues comes from viewerships, and clearly the viewership ain't on their side. And I'm telling you, these leagues are going to stand strong just the same. I think that Super League thing will crumble regardless, because people won't want to support it. People like history.
Yeah.
People like to dare to be great. You remember the last time I was actually talking to you about how is it people trying to make case for Ronaldo and Messi for the chopping the World Cup in two?
Yeah.
These are the things that people don't like. People like a Stoke facing a Manchester United. You get me? People like that glory battle, not the glory hunting behavior. You understand me? So I think you will be shocked how much people gravitate to other teams and start supporting Leicester, and then Leicester just boom, because people built Manchester City and those guys for people to take it serious. If Sheikh Mansour and those guys didn't saw that they could have the capability to attract people, they wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
So believe me, once the fans turn it, everything goes.
And
everything goes.
I can remember, like, it is so fun when you see a team like Manchester City going for the title race, in strong position, going for the title race, and they're facing maybe a Stoke at a Wednesday night at Stoke City, and they get overthrown by Stoke at 2-0 or 2-1, And that's this fun feeling that fans love. What about the season when Leicester City could just come up spending no money and just come and win the league in a rough league during that year, and so many big teams spending money? That those are the fun moments. That is what gives the fans a good feeling when you accomplish these. No, a team like let me tell you, a team. So for example, they said there's a set amount of team that cannot be relegated, and there's no promotion, but there's no relegation for those particular teams. So a team like Aston Villa, or maybe a Leicester situation like what happened in 2015-2016 season where Leicester won the league. A situation like that, that team will not be eligible to make it to the the European Super League.
Yeah,
So
because it's not going to be a league. It's not going to be a league. It's just practically
franchise.
it's just a corner shop franchise with a load of money. That's it. You get me? Because if you don't have any repercussion for your action,
Mm-hmm.
it can't be a league. That's the definition of a league. You get
Mm-hmm.
me? Because you have to have some things. If you win some things, you get a trophy. If you lose something, you get get what you deserve. You understand me? So you have to have something to have that passion into the entire league, and you don't have a passion. It's just a money-driven thing. So you
Yeah,
want to be rich, you want your family to live okay. It's just pure selfishness. So it's going to
yeah,
come down between the owners and the fans, and then
yeah.
the players will get into the middle of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you will see which players have the balls to say, okay, I'm not with this, I will go and play for a different club, and that's it.
So news came out this morning from Arsenal Football Club that Arteta didn't know about it. I saw a news said Jurgen Klopp didn't know about it as well, and Arteta didn't know about it. So they held a meeting today. Arteta held a meeting with the team to find out what their views on it, because this will mostly impact the players on a negative value, because the players, every single player, want to win the World Cup, and if
Mm-hmm.
this particular franchise is going to dismantle the whole idea of a World Cup, I think the players will go against that. I believe that the players will go against that, because that is history, and it is so important that I'm in so many football groups, and people are telling me that we are afraid of change. We are not afraid of change. We accept change. But when you see change coming from a particular area that is questionable, that is where you raise question, and you have to question it as well. Now, there's no way. Alex Ferguson came out this morning and spoke about it, that he's not for it, he's against it. Arsene Wenger came out and said he's not for it, he's against it. So we have two of the biggest heads in managerial football speaking clearly that they are against it. These are guys that work with the Glazers, work with Stan Kroenke. They know how these guys think and what their end game is, what they want. So, and they came out blatantly and said they're not for what they're into, because these guys are up to no good. So we should have respect for these managers, these previous ex-managers, coming out and spoken openly about it in that manner and shedding some light. Because as fans, we must know that we can agree to disagree to a lot of things. But when two persons who have worked with these guys for many years, over 10, 15 years, work with the same guys that are implementing something right now, and these two guys are saying they're against what these guys are putting in, something is wrong. I believe something is wrong.
The thing is, these guys are too veteran of the game. They saw what they had to do. Alex Ferguson, he came up the hard way, brought these guys rough and tough, get them success. Um, Wenger changed it a little bit more. He brought the more technical side to it and nutrition side to it, and brought them success. So they know about getting things going the hard way from the youth camp. They don't believe in this system of going to buy buying Sergio Aguero and already have ready made. So they are not going to be up with it. But it's a new time. It's a new era that we are in. It's just about who gets the clicks and what you actually purchase. You get
Mm-hmm.
me? And that's what connects money to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want ready-made things, you have to have ready-made money. So what you're going to choose, you're going to always go for the big stack of cash that you can just go and buy what you need.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see now, when everyone gets the same money, how much players they can actually buy. They have to go back and try to invent talents now. because everyone can pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's going to crumble. It's a lot of sides to it that won't work,
Mhm.
because that's the reason of a league working. They don't have enough money to compete with the bigger guys, so the bigger guys can snatch the better talents, and you can't keep your bigger talents. You get me?
Mhm.
Now you're going to have a pool that everyone can buy everyone. So it's going to come down to the manager and this and that and all sort of things. It's not going to play out like a regular league. It's going
Mhm.
to play out completely different. If
Yeah.
those guys are better than those guys, 2, 3 seasons will pan out the same thing, and it's going to become predictable.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
bored.
people won't, the few people that will view it will just stop eventually.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Predictability
that
leads to being boring.
yeah, that's what I think. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Because what one of the things that I realized is that something came out that they won't be able to purchase amongst each other, but they would go out and purchase. So for each one of these clubs, have a budget of 350 million. Now, when you see a player like Jack Grealish, and each one of these clubs want Jack Grealish, his normal market value would be around 60, 70 million pounds, right? And
Hmm.
then now, first Barcelona make an attempt of Jack Grealish, raising it to 90 million. Then now Real Madrid make an attempt of Jack Grealish, raising it that fund again to 120 million. So these guys will totally dismantle the whole transfer market, the finances, and that would
So
make a pretty much unbalanced. So a team that is in the lower league will not be able to purchase another player. It will just all be about money. You want a player to loan,
well,
you have to pay
uh,
a sufficient amount of money to get that player as well.
and that's where you're completely damaging football. That's how people misinterpret the term damaging football, because I heard Tactical saying it again and saying maybe this won't damage football such and such way. But this is how it damages the football, because if you take the notch from Neymar transfer to an
Mhm,
extra level, so Jack Grealish could worth 100 million. That
mhm,
means the smaller clubs just even separated from the bigger clubs a little bit more.
mhm,
So on top of them creating a divide league for themselves and won't be participating, they're going to try and take out the best players out of that league and
mhm,
dampen the viewership over here to force people to come over here. Some of these
mhm.
ballers they're going to purchase, they don't necessarily need, but they
Yeah.
need them to take them out of that highlight zone to bring over here, just like what they did from the smaller clubs to the bigger clubs naturally now. You get me? So it's not a good, it's a lot of ways you can put it, saying it's not a good way. But I know Americans will always see it one way because Americans used to sports being that way. You get me?
Okay.
You have relegation here, and you have
Hierarchical
grassroots, and
structure.
you have history. You have
Yeah.
history on these things, and that's the difference that most Americans can't understand.
Yeah, and I agree because Arsenal can go out and loan a player from one of the biggest clubs in the world, Real Madrid, and get him on a loan deal. Now, I don't see Everton or Aston Villa, even a West Ham, coming to the Super League to try and get one of our star players. So I cannot see this thing going any direction more than a chaotic direction. And Wenger said it, Ferguson said it as well. I'm going to run through a few of the comments because we have been going on for a while now. And
Hmm.
so thank you, Delano said hit the like button. I big up Marcus Garvey, as I said, idea before it started. Big up Stephen Denham. Thank you very much for joining, bro. A lot of respect. So people throw in your questions. Don't be afraid to throw in your questions. Big up Maya as well. Big up Coach. Wayne swear. Is it a case where if clubs accept the offer, the players have a choice not to play or not? No, the players have no choice. What's your take on that, JD?
Um, you said repeat it again. Let me hear it
Um,
clear.
so if it's the case that the clubs accept this deal, does the players have a choice to play or not?
Of course, you always have a choice to terminate the contract. Your
Okay,
value
terminate the
just
contract.
your value just went up a little bit even more, because
Okay.
now you have a valid excuse to come out. But you want to make sure before you do so, that means they have already branched off. So you have to wait until Manchester City branched off fully,
Mm-hmm.
and then the FA and the other governing bodies made
Mm-hmm.
their decisions. And then that's the point you can just say, okay, I'm not in favor of this thing. It's going to only take like a De Bruyne or one of those guys that love their country so much,
Mhm.
saying, "Here, go on. If we are not going to be able to play the World Cup, I will just go and play for any team because I can make any team good." And
Yeah,
once he does something like that, it crumbles. Simple. Because De Bruyne will bring half of the funds for City. Period.
yeah, yeah. And so, can you imagine a Cristiano Ronaldo and a Lionel Messi coming out speaking against it? I think that would totally derail everything. Just these two persons coming out publicly and speaking about it, I think that that can derail everything because these two persons carry the entire football base. The entire football base. It doesn't matter what anyone wants to say. These two guys bring the entire football base. And I think that if these two guys should come out and speak openly about it, that we want to play in the World Cup. We know these two guys want to play in the World Cup. World Cup is next year. So close to these guys end of their career. Do you think these guys really want to wait on a revamped, maybe reschedule or reorganize different type of World Cup? No, they want that history because the reason why they want the World Cup history is the same history that Pele, Maradona, Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos, CR9, all these guys, it's the same World Cup that these guys got the glory from. And I do think that Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo want to get the glory from that same World Cup. So I think that at some point in time, maybe they might come to a decision that the Super League and the UEFA might work together in some sense. But if it's not, I think it's going to be very, very difficult to prolong with it as well. So let me run through some more of the questions. Sylvia not joining. Yes, I just saw Fabrizio Romano announcing it that Sylvia will not be joining. Richard Stewart said, "This is what happened when Americans want their way." What do you think about that, JD?
It's not just Americans because you saw that one of the main individual pushing this is a Spaniard. So you have to we know how Americans approach things. And because there are so many inside the English league, it is much more explosive. But I think it's a overall greed package from the
Mm-hmm.
billionaires worldwide. You get me? And
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's not just Americans, but that's how billionaires act.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. Swear said that this is just a big money move for the clubs, but not a good look for international football and not for the future of the players. I do agree with that, Sword. Stephen Dunn said it will have a knock-on effect right through the leagues. What about those small clubs that look forward to playing an Arsenal or Manchester United in the FA Cup that games keep those clubs afloat? I think so. I
I
think
no,
so.
but I
That's a
but I
valid.
explained that to you. Then if the people put their mouth where their money is,
Mm-hmm.
they can pull the same power. The same teams that you see behind them, like a Leicester, a Everton, just go and support them. It will just equal the same balance.
Which team are
You
you going to
can
support?
play. And for me, I just said I will just revert back to my Ajax. I'm not
Ajax. Ooh.
even the City channel. I might just change it to a IMAX's football it channel completely. That's what I have in mind. I'm not
Yeah.
going to cover anymore. Yeah, you know I'm
Ooh.
serious. That's just me.
I can't find
Yeah.
any club to support. Maybe I can go and enjoy oh let's go and enjoy no PSG. I think the only reason why PSG is actually not involved is because of Qatar, the World Cup. I think that is the reason why PSG is actually not involved because of the World Cup. They're
Mm.
hosting the World Cup, so they can't go against and FIFA controls that area. They can't go against that because they have already agreed to that as well.
In a sense, but I could see why Bayern not joining it. Bayern is a big club as well. You get me?
Yeah.
So it's not
Owned by the fans.
everyone that is not everyone jumping to try to do certain things. It's going to be balanced. It's going to be balanced, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Delano says Spurs dressing room are divided because of Jose's sacking. I think a lot of the players never wanted him to go. I do agree. I think based off like players such as Ndombele, despite they started off on the wrong foot, they grew and I saw like the last game when that Dembele scored, he ran over to Mourinho to celebrate, to hug him and celebrate. So I think there's always a two-way to any sacking. That
Um,
America continue.
for Jose Mourinho, I just believe that Jose Mourinho is a very good coach, but he's just in the wrong era. We are in this weak P era where in which individuals, they are just so soft. You are in the cancel culture. No one
Mhm.
has an extra balls just to stand up and face the rat, because that's how managers do G up. They are not some specialists, special psychiatric individual that can help you differently without um um touch your emotional sides to G you up. You get me? These
Yeah,
guys are rough and tumble. It's football. It's not a girl. It's not a female sport. It's not no disrespect to female sports, but you should have an edge about it because we are males. You know.
yeah.
So for the fact that you don't want to do anything like that, you want to be soft, like how I saw Pogba and those guys
Mhm.
talking about how he treat people. Man, you're just a soft ass nigga. Personally, you know, it's just
Yeah,
it's just very. Mourinho is a very good coach, but he
yeah.
needs men,
Men.
real
Yeah,
men,
look at the last
to
team that he won
go
the league
about
with.
it. Yeah,
The last team that he won the league with, like guys like John Terry, Essien, um,
yeah,
let's see, yeah, Maluda, those rough neck type of guys who we can speak to, maybe exchange of words in the dressing room, and it's all hen. It's all good and done right there. Steven said Newcastle Steve Bruce wants to buy a Joe Willock, so there's some extra transfer funds for Arteta to let him go. That's yeah, I'll definitely take that. Tech HRPG, thank you for coming in. Brazil, ooh, thank you for coming in. A lot of respect. Marcus Garvey said we now watch no Super League. You forgot Bobby Moore. Steven said, I heard that JP Morgan is putting up a huge chunk of money to sponsor the Super League. Wow. Well, they already have the sponsorship, so I'm not sure if there's extra sponsorship coming in, but they do have the billionaires backing them. Delana said, I will support Villarreal. Emery, Unite Emery. Fitzroy said, big up Fitzroy, thank you for coming in. This Super League is a good conversation to have. Sometimes you need things like things to take effect to cause real change. UEFA and FIFA isn't without their own issue, but entities have a stranglehold on the football. Yes, UEFA and the FIFA have a very strong hold on football. But the thing is that what we're seeing right now is that we know that UEFA and FIFA was basically all in for the money in every aspect of it. But what we do know is that these guys are not moving the game for anything of the benefit of smaller clubs and the potential of fans enjoying football for the future cost. I can't see that. I just can't see that.
yes, and that's every conversation you do have. You realize it's always between if the realness of the football will stay, and people will always talk about the corruption of FIFA and the stranglehold that FIFA had over football for so long.
Yeah.
But tell you what, everything came in that same tandem. You get me? It's just not you can't get rid of FIFA so easy. But if you're gonna give up the entire fan base, what are you going to turn it into? A computer league where in which people just watch it on TV. That's practically it. Without no fans.
Yeah.
You get me?
That
So you're
that
gonna give up everything.
yeah. And if they want to prolong this, and basically at some point in time, fans must come back into the stadium, right? And they want to prolong this. What if, on the first year with fans returning, they have maybe a 10% fan turnout? That would be a big loss to them. Despite we have loyal fans for each club, I think that would be a big loss for them, and that would be very much unsustainable because of the amount of money they will be spending. Then now, when views are started to deteriorate, because it is natural that views will deteriorate because of the fact that you'll be seeing Chelsea versus Real Madrid this week. Next week you have Barcelona versus Real Madrid. The week after you have Arsenal versus Manchester City. You'll be seeing these games every single week, and it's going to deteriorate the mentality of these type of games being elite. It will take that elite factor out of it. JD,
The
you and I were
aura.
speaking about it. I
Yeah.
think you and I were speaking about the World Cup every 2 year, every 4 year. And we're
Yes.
saying that, yeah, we're saying that it is important to play it every 4 year because that is what has the elite about it.
Yeah, but not just that. Not just that. In life, the aura around something keeps
Mhm.
it way more precious and valuable. So the time that it takes to reach a World Cup, to
Mm-hmm.
reach a Champions League finals, the type of caliber of matches coming few and far, it
Mm-hmm.
make people anticipate something special happening. So if you regularize something, it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be special anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So if you're going to bring City and Chelsea every week and not just two times in the Premier League and maybe in the quarterfinal to finals in the Champions League,
Mm-hmm.
it's the ticket price will diminish over time and people won't want it, and then people will try to seek other places. So if you don't lose money at the start because
Mm-hmm.
it's an early boost, you're going to lose it in the end regardless, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how life is. So I think they're just setting up themselves to fail big time, whoever actually putting this on. The
Yeah.
clubs might always benefit, and the owners can go away with their money and not gamble to come back to the Premier League or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But it's going to be a big loss for someone. Big
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah, I think that they're digging their head into deep waters, and there's strong possibility that they might find themselves in difficulty. So let's move over now to how this sets of events may affect the CONCACAF, because we have to address it. So with the possibility that Bayer Leverkusen, which they haven't accepted as yet, but they did get the invite, they haven't accepted as yet. So I want to make that clear first. They did get the invite. Now, with omission of these players from the World Cup squad or from their national team, because FIFA has stated that, would that cause a problem for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz without Leon Bailey moving forward?
I don't think it will actually cause much problems to the CONCACAF region, to be honest. Because what we said is the players that are playing in those particular teams will be omit from maybe the World Cup due to the affiliation for the World Cup and FIFA. You get me? So most of them ain't playing for those teams. You get me? So I don't think you're going to have a problem. And remember, people will have the option to just be a free agent and go on and try and find a next club if they don't agree with it. You remember, this is just new, So you will have people coming soon and telling you that I don't agree with it. I want to have a transfer, and you can't even bash me anymore because I want to have the transfer and I have my rights to have the transfer. And they will set up certain stipulations for it to be easy for others to join clubs. Remember, it's a new thing coming up, So new ideas will come joined it to that as well.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm just chilling. Thank you for coming and chat, bro. A lot of respect. So it is officially the Super League. Yes, it is official. We're not the ones saying it. It's all over the news basically. Everyone should know that. Jelana said it's official. Mr. Tika, big up Military and JD. Big up Mr. Tika. Um, One of the things that I want to look at is that the aspect of I said that it can affect the Reggae Boyz is that with the omission of Leon Bailey, that I know what he wants to play at the elite club, because we've recently covered Leon Bailey stating that he wants to play at an elite club. No, we have Leon Bailey. We're going to list out the elite players playing at elite club. We have Pulisic, we have Leon Bailey, we have Sergio Dest, we have let me see who else. Sergio Dest, Pulisic, Leon Bailey,
Western McKinney,
Weston McKennie,
yeah,
and
he's in it.
yeah, these are few players that will be absent from the World Cup and the Gold Cup squad, and I think that would give other teams such as Suriname, even Costa Rica, a stronger chance in the Gold Cup and biting forward even in the World Cup qualifiers. Do you share the same sentiments? Do you have any either anything that you want to share on that?
You have to analyze how much players United States do have.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find Pulisic as one of their main threat now because he's just coming back on farm. You get
Mm-hmm.
me? So they will definitely miss Dest and Wester McKinney.
Mm-hmm.
I would say so, but Pulisic is just coming back. So really and truly, we have to see how it works out. It only makes it harder for United States to defeat a Jamaica and a Mexico. But any other teams, I think they will still have a little edge over them to defeat them at a higher clip, maybe 75%. But for Jamaica, it's going to be closer to 50-50 than anything else.
Yeah.
For Mexico, it might just be 35, 65 in Mexico's favor. So that's the difference. Yes, it do change things, but I don't think it changed such big things in the CONCACAF region, to be honest.
Okay. I share some of what you said, the same, but I think that these important players drive the fear factor in other teams, like for Pulisic, despite Pulisic and this absent out of the USA team, that take away a lot of the fear factor. And I think that we can actually approach that game with a bit more confidence. A team such as Suriname, Costa Rica, Bermuda, these teams can approach those games with less fear factor, despite we might say the quality might dip just a bit and not enough. But the fear factor is also a big factor in any game, because the mentality of a football game, how can I put it, deploys a lot of the result. Because you can be the better team, but the mere fact that I am not afraid of your team means that I stand a strong chance just as much as you stand a strong chance. No, it just boils down to the mentality factor. So let me run through a few more comments. Steven Denham said, you can't talk to players like they did 10 years ago. They are snowflakes. They are snowflakes. Take this Hulk and won't play for you. You can't imagine Brian Clough and today's players. They have a nervous breakdown. Exactly. Exactly. As JD said, snowflakes. They are definitely snowflakes. They're very, very soft. Just chilling said they're easily offended. And I agree with that as well. Easily offended. And Mourinho is actually one of those type of managers. That's how far back we are. He's one of those type of managers that is very aggressive towards his players. As I said, he wants his players to be men, assertive on the pitch, because he said it in the preview that the guys were soft. I hear Mourinho said that a lot. The guys were soft, and it goes to tell that the type of person that he is. Daniel Deal, big up Daniel. Daniel Deal. We want to see the best players at World Cup, so we say no to the Super League. Exactly. The World Cup is every 4 years, and we want to see the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, like of Lionel Messi, Kevin De Bruyne, Madrid, all these players, and we want to see all these players. So maybe, as it stands, Brazil might be the one who's going to win the World Cup, because that they might not have the most players who's out at this point in time. So let me run through. Andy said, hit the like button. Thank you very much. Big up Argon. And thank you for coming in. Thank you very much for coming in. Fitzroy, so why can't FIFA and Super League work together? You have any take on that, JD?
Yeah, finish his statement. Let me explain. Let me continue. Yeah,
why can't FIFA and Super League work together? IPL and ICC found a way to make it work, while UEFA has a play my league or no none at all mentality.
Fitzroy. If you look at it, the leagues already have their assigned system. You understand? Their assigned systems are two smaller inland tournaments, one European tournaments of choice, depending on your position, and then you have your normal leagues. That's 4 over a 6.5, 7-month period. What more can you add to that if you are going to add 30 more games? The players, they can't, they're already crying about fixture congestion. So that means you're willingly ready to give away certain things for the poorer teams, because you're not going to give away the leagues. You're going to give away one of the smaller competitions. Then you're going to give away the grassroots of the actual footballing fraternity, and that's what keeps it alive. So when you're going to give up certain things, you're going to look on what on the list you have to tick off. So sometimes you can't think about FIFA, because you're saying FIFA here. It's not FIFA control it. It's just a trickling effect what FIFA controls. Look, the smaller divisions are controlled by the FAs. You understand me? So that has nothing to do with FIFA. So them making a decision, FIFA just acting out on it because they want everything to be in balance. It's not just the FIFA, you have the FIFA, FA, and then the UEFA governing body. So it's 3 different parties. It's not just the FIFA. I think you need to put everything in context and realize what's taking place, and then you will understand what's going on.
Yeah, agree. Agree. Oh, Liverpool has scored. Wow. Well, let's enjoy those games for now because it seems as if all those games would definitely be off. If they don't be careful, nobody will watch football anymore. That's a good claim. That's a very very good claim because right now at this point in time, JD and I are at the brink. I'll stop watching football.
Yeah, I'm already done with the club thing. I already told you that already, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it is what it is.
Um, Big up Alex, bro. How are you? Got community tab as it isn't coming up on mine. No, okay. So no problem. Alex, it will definitely come in, so don't worry about that, bro. And congrats on hitting your 1,000. Lot of respect. Just chilling. If Byron joins, then Alfonso Davis is also out. I don't think Byron will join because I think that you'll definitely Bayern actually is a people club, so I do think that they will move away from that. I must. Why does Holland underachieve each even though they produce technically good players? That's a good question. Big up for that question, Richard Stewart. That's a very very good question. That's a good
Yes,
question for
sir,
you.
Richard Stewart.
Mhm.
Football has a tricky way to go at all times. Sometimes it comes with the farms that the players sits in at that time, the
Mhm.
managerial setup aside of it as well, because that's big.
Mhm.
And I think that's exactly what's happening to the Dutch team right now. When you
Mhm.
said underachieve, they have made the most semifinals in, I think, overall as a team that never won the World Cup, you know?
Mhm.
So I don't think they have actually underachieved. They just don't pass, like maybe they don't actually, I would say, all right, if you're talking on current form, because I think that's exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
It takes more than just technical players. It takes the mastery of putting players together, um finding the right tweak systems, and definitely trying to educate the players on what their end goals, letting them feel a little bit more comfortable. And that's what I think. When
Mhm.
Koeman left the team and went to Barcelona, they might feel a little bit dejected and as of a less of a sight of the future. Because that's always the end goal. You want to know
Mhm.
where you want to go. And I think the next coach coming in, he just got sacked from a club that he didn't even play a match. You get me? So it didn't bring any confidence in. And
Mhm.
that's the whole story. So it's a whole collective thing, but that won't change how talented the players are coming out of Netherlands because
Mhm.
they're still doing it for their club teams. So
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. You get me?
Exactly. So I think that means the coach has to take a lot of the responsibility.
Yes, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
Karum Hugh, thank you for jumping in. It's just spoiled owners who just think about their own pockets. Exactly. And I think that it will be how we are going to move forward. The moment we go down this direction, it will continuously be in the same step because it's going to reach a situation where they're going to want to create their own World Cup to compensate for the players not going to the World Cup. And I think that the players that we have right now want to play in the pedigree World Cup that they have known for since they were actually young. Richard said, Richard Stewart, Holland, okay, that's a answer to Richard. 51% of Bayern are voted from the fans and they won't want to join. Yes, I do agree with that, Harrigan. Um, Big up KP, thank you for jumping in. It's been a while, busy at work. No problem, bro. You already know that we have to make that excessive amount of money so that our family can eat. But people, as I said, it won't be a long stream. Thank you very much for joining me. Billy, thank you very much for coming on to the show. Everyone that came into the shop, lots of respect, people. Thank you very much. It was a very, very good talk. We know that there's a strong chance that we can do without some of these players that are slated to leave. Hopefully we can get the job done. Chelsea is going to move away with Pulisic, and Des will be moving away with Barcelona. So plenty of these players will be going away. Let's hope that this is now. Let's hope that this is now a chance that Jamaica can capitalize on that as well. And we'll make our way about that. Have a great day, people. Big up, people. Go and check out Delano's channel. The link is in the chat. I forgot to tell you to put it in. I'll put it in the chat. The link is in the chat, so people big up. Go and subscribe to that channel right now. Just go over there, hit that link, and go and hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much, people, for tuning in. This has been a good one. Military Guna TV. Guess what? I am out.